It's time to head down to Ocean Avenue. This is the first build of this brand new VN, just came out a couple of days ago. It's by Dirk The Red Panda, who, as some of you might know, is a friend of mine. He also does plenty of streams on YouTube reading VNs, and he's made his own. So let's get straight into this one. Was Marcus here already? I thought he's coming in half an hour. I should get my backpack then. As I reached the dark green bag propped under the kitchen table, I glanced at my phone, which was directly above on the edge. Wait. Turns out it's my email notification. I don't know why they made the default tone sound like that. The message came from NBL Pro Tour Jobs. My heart began to race. I've been waiting for them to get back to me for 2 weeks now. Why haven't they emailed me until now? They told me to give them a week. Dear Evan, we appreciate your interest in joining the National Beach League Volleyball Tour crew. We had numerous applicants apply and were thoroughly amazed with what everyone brought to the table. We are impressed by your list of accomplishments and qualifications. However, we will not be moving forward with your application for the upcoming spring season. There were many tough cuts made while selecting our candidates. We hope to hear from you again for future seasons and wish you luck with your career journey. The rest of the email contained the interviewer's contact and the company info. The email was threaded to 2 prior emails which had my original application and interview respectively. Looks like this summer was a perfect record for internships. I closed the email along with the app's window. Nothing like getting a motivational speech before you play. The biggest kicker is that I'm going to the beach today to play. Yeah, motivational. I had my eyes set on that job for the past 2 years. It wasn't until I was qualified enough that I applied for it. I spent that time coaching youth teams and running my own events. I was sure the latter one would have them sold. I guess not. I slid my phone into my right pocket and proceeded to doze off. I was woken up by someone knocking. My heart skipped for a second. I got out of my chair and promptly headed for the door. It's a good thing I had nothing else to do earlier. Perks of fun employment. I opened the door to be greeted by a German Shepherd 6 inches taller than me. Since I was the only one home at this time, I had to lock up the house before leaving. After I finished, we started to chat. How have you been, Marcus? I haven't seen you in a month. Oh, I'm doing alright. I wish I didn't have to take that summer course. I feel bad for you, man. I've been there before. What's it for? General Ed. My spring professor was awful. Did you have to? Yeah, history teachers are intense at San Vicente. He held up his key fob and unlocked his car. We got seated and closed the doors before resuming. I'm still jealous that you've been at uni all these years. I'm not sure how much longer I could stand living with my family. Yeah, I can relate to you. We went to high school together and then went our own ways once we graduated. I spent the next 2 years at community college while Marcus attended university since freshman year. However, we'll be back together since I'm transferring to San Vicente this year. I couldn't afford 4 years of uni, unlike his family. I'm still grateful my parents helped me pay for college though. Lord knows where I'd be otherwise. Marcus started up the car and exited the driveway, heading towards the main thoroughfare of our hometown. He finally chimed in. Did you ever hear back from the NBL? I winced as he brought up the fresh wound. Yeah. Oh. Sorry, man. Thanks. I guess this wasn't my year. Means I'll have more time to get familiar with San Vicente. Marcus nodded as he looked back at the road. I was still staring at Marcus for an extra second. I couldn't get that nagging voice out of my head. You need to get an internship now, Evan. They won't hand you a job on a golden platter once you graduate. Thanks, Dad. Love you too. Rays of light beamed through the windshield as we traversed the sizzling freeway. Not only was the ground suffering a heat stroke, but so was I. I've never been fond of the scorching sun, but I had my reasons to suffer through it. God, it's so hot out. I mean, look at you. I'd be dying if I had all that fur. I commented as my eyes drifted towards the temperature gauge. 85 degrees. Disgusting. My attention was diverted as the sound of the asphalt rumbled under the car. "Remind me why we're going today?" I remarked as I got out my flask. The leather seats were roasting my legs. "Well, it was the only day I could invite enough guys without all the courts being taken. Most of the time, the frat houses invade them with their beer die tables." "Fun. Well, I hate it when they leave their solo cups on the courts." "Well, that's what you get when you put a university next to a beach." Some of their houses were right alongside the shores. It wasn't that uncommon to see frats and sororities out there all day. And night. It must be a nice lifestyle. Well, I could only get 2 of the guys to come. Sorry about that. But you'll meet the rest of them eventually. You don't have to apologise to them. I get it. Well, it doesn't help that it's Labour Day weekend. They're either gone physically or mentally. I could see why. Well, it shocked me that Vic could still come today. Vic. You'll meet him today. Sounds like he's fun at parties. At least I'll have another connection. Being a transfer, I'm going to need all the connections I can get here. Knowing Marcus is a good start, though that was a given for me. The next few minutes dragged on as the outside ambience took over. It wasn't until halfway through our 75-minute drive that we broke the silence again. "So, what positions did these guys play for indoor?" "Well, they're both middles." "Great. You got a problem with middles?" "Not with part-timers. You know you don't count." "Well, it's probably the only one who could pass on a high school team." "Well, I remember when you shocked the coach at tryouts." "He can pass too?" I put on a gruff voice. I extended my forearms outward, shaking them back and forth as I pointed towards Marcus. He replied in a more accurate, husky impression. "Well, I haven't seen a tall guy pass that well since Alcaster. Sign him up for the beach." The two of us chuckled as we reminisced about junior year. If only he knew we played beach volleyball together since freshman year. Dude, I was so hyped for indoor that season. Remember all the high fives we came up with when we subbed in for each other? "You mean like the scissor fist bump? The scissor bump?" I started to mimic the move, intersecting my elbows and twisting my upper body sideways. We looked so graceful out there. Marcus continued laughing as he rolled his eyes and started to smile. "Well, your dad was so pissed off when we did that." "I will not have my son looking like a ballerina out there. He's already playing a girl's sport." The grin he had worked up was suddenly wiped off his face. His lips now pursed, angled down slightly. "Crap, my bad." "Well, don't worry about it, man. It was pretty funny." "Yeah." It sucked that it was one of the only times we were both starters. There are a couple of reasons for that. "Was that the same year we made the varsity beach team?" "Yeah, I remember going to half their matches with you. All we ever did was mess around with the starters from the sideline. Didn't they try pairing you up with our other middle?" It's pretty common to see indoor programs attempt to make the tall guys into beach volleyball players, usually with little success. Marcus was still recalling it. "And didn't you have to take most of the court for serve-receive?" "Yeah. God, that was such a pain." He rolled his eyes, smirking a little. "If you weren't driving right now, I'm sure you'd love to reenact it. You're probably going to need it to today." "They're not that bad. Unlike high school, they actually teach everyone how to pass." Since there are no positions for beach volleyball, it was kind of a struggle teaching the indoor players to do everything on the sand, passing being the biggest culprit. Marcus diverted my attention once we got off the exit. He gestured at the ocean, which was now bordering the road we were on. "You never took me to Ocean Beach this way before." "Why didn't you take this road to get to orientation?" "Well, yeah, but that was because there was construction that day. I didn't know you could drive straight to Ocean Beach from here." "Yeah, you'll get used to it." "I better," I implied as I brushed it off with a chuckle. "Well, before you know it, you'll have this route memorized like the back of your hand. It only took me 3 months to memorize it by heart." "Now, is it like going on autopilot?" "Yeah. Isn't it crazy we'll be going to the same university in a couple of weeks?" I turned to the left, eyeing the view of the distant campus. It sure is a beauty. It took us about 10 minutes to finally reach the campus. In sight were 2 of the physical science buildings along with some sort of study hall connecting them. I think I would go from a class of 700 to 7,000. How would I be able to navigate this place? Fortunately, I had the GPS himself sitting next to me. "Those buildings have the engineering courses. If only my art courses were as close to the beach." "You're still doing art in college?" I mean, that's great, man. I just thought... Oh, I'm still doing it. Not sure how much longer, though. Oh, don't worry about it. Dad hasn't taken much notice of it. If I had anything to complain about, it would be the fact that it's on the other side of campus, facing the mountains. Any reason why the art buildings are on the mountainside? Marcus pondered the question, giving it some thought before giving an answer in a matter-of-fact fashion. Well, supposedly it helps the artists get in their zone. In general, it's much quieter than the ocean side. Huh? Well, that does make sense considering the ocean attracts students like moths. Yeah, right. More people just gravitate towards the beach. Plus, I've heard the art department got the short end of the stick when they were being built. That sucks. Well, not like I have a problem with it. They have trails there I can hike after class. That's cool, man. Well, I'm probably one of the only art students who uses it, though. Not everyone grew up in an outdoorsy family like you. Whatever you say, Tent Master. I blushed and covered my face as Marcus brought up that memory. How was I supposed to know where the extra pole went? I nearly suffocated when it collapsed. No, you didn't. You weren't inside the beast. All I had to do was unzip the entrance. It took you 10 minutes. Seconds. I couldn't breathe through it. We continued to banter about my near-death experience the rest of the way. By the time we parked, I was already exhausted. As Marcus shifted the car in park, I grabbed the backpack between my legs, placing it on my lap. He then got out of the car to retrieve his backpack and mesh bag filled with balls. Since we got a spot close to the sands, it only took us a minute to find an open court. You better not mention this to the guys. Your silence speaks volumes. Well, silence can't talk. Oh my god, you know what I meant. We started to unpack our stuff. A couple of minutes passed by before anyone showed up. The first guy to show up was a lanky lion, a couple of inches taller than Marcus. He approached us, walking at a somewhat slow stride. He looked down most of the way, not breaking contact with the ground till he got within a foot of the court. After giving it some thought, the lion opened his mouth. Hello, what's your name? The phrase came out staggered. As soon as he finished the sentence, his eyes wavered towards the ocean. My name is Evan. Evelyn? No, that's my sister. No, Evan. Oh, nice to meet you, Evan. Nice to meet you too. What's... Oh, I forgot to say, I'm Kenneth, but everyone calls me Kenny. The lion scratched the back of his neck, visibly regretting his blunder. Once again his focus wavered off, this time towards the net. Okay, pleasure to meet you, Kenny. He was still distracted even after delivering my retort. Kenny moved on from me, walking towards the pole our bags were at. As he got there, he put his backpack down and started looking at his phone. After Kenny acknowledged Marcus and checking his phone, Marcus walked to me, moving us a few feet away from Kenny. Oh, don't worry about it. Sometimes he has a hard time picking up things. Oh, that's not a problem. Is he any different when he plays? A little bit. Our conversation dropped for a minute and I came up with another question. How did you guys meet? Well, we both play on the beach and indoor club teams. Wait, you guys have a beach club team? Oh, yeah. Really? My community college didn't have a beach team. Yeah, Kenny's a year behind us, but when he joined last year we became well acquainted. He's pretty chill once you get to know him. He just takes a while to open up. That's a relief. I thought I gave off bad vibes or something. I looked back towards Kenny. He was still on his phone, but now he was starting to swipe at it, apparently playing something. Marcus cued me to walk back with him so we could visit with Kenny. Once we started heading back, Kenny swiftly put his phone away, acknowledging us with a subtle grin. How have you been, Kenny? It's been like 3 months since we last hung out. It really has. Oh, I was working on a piece for school. I couldn't get it off my mind. Well, that's cool. After the slight lull, Marcus brought us back into conversation. Well, maybe starting up this early will help us beat Los Ojos this year. That would be nice. You're a great matchup against that middle. Their damn right sides drove me nuts. Oh, I thought you did a good job with them. Well, I guess. Marcus trailed off, shrugging off the compliment. But when I rotated to the back row, it was hell defending against them. Didn't help that other outsides were half a foot shorter than you, like your friend. Kenny pointed at me with his palm up nonchalantly. Was he calling me short? Short people can block too. Just because I lack height doesn't mean I can't compete with you. Don't think about it, Evan. There's more to you than your length. Oh, Evan, I've got to tell you, I'm back to playing outside now. For the most part. Marcus rolled his eyes benevolently. I'd have expected Kenny's expression to lighten up after that, but reverted back into a plain stare. Well, that's nice. I knew you hated playing middle. Well, if I hadn't played club during high school, I'd have gone insane. While our high school had tons of players, none of them were really tall, so usually Marcus was forced to play middle. If he hadn't played outside on his youth club team, I don't know if he would still be playing. You're really taking me back on the old nostalgia train. Did you also play club back in high school, Kenny? He looks familiar, but then again, I encountered a million faces at those club tournaments. It's pretty hard to point someone out unless they were a star. Not really. I didn't start playing volleyball until I was 17. My dad thought I was too big not to be playing a sport. The three of us gave a brief chuckle. I only played for the high school team. Oh. I guess he wasn't that notable. Usually guys that tall are idols in the volleyball scene. Kenny looked back down at his phone. Oh, I thought we had to be here by 4. He held up his phone, giving us a quizzical expression. It's 4:19. Who's supposed to be the 4th person? Vic. Okay, that makes sense. Whoever this Vic person was, he was living up to some sort of expectation. Sounds very reliable to me. You bet I am. I felt a weight suddenly land on my right shoulder. I flinched and nearly somersaulted as I fell forward onto the sand. Once I finished landing, I crawled on my back to see a massive hyena looking down at me. Jesus Christ. He's so huge. Are you Vic? Are you on the beach patrol? No. It's a pleasure to meet you. The hyena enveloped my hand with his as he gave the firm handshake businessmen aspire for. I felt like a miniature doll in comparison. My full name is Victor, but you can call me Vic, Vector, Victorious. Stinky? No, shut up, Ken. Wait, what? Kenny looked away. His expression seemed mixed between abashed and amused. Vic gave a quick inhale. Just call me Vic, that's what I normally go by. All of the commotion diverted my attention away from the 5th person, standing alongside Vic dragging a cooler with wheels. They appeared to be a white vixen about my height, wearing a t-shirt and short shorts. Is this why you asked me if I was on the beach patrol? I pointed my hand and turned my head to the cooler that the vixen was pulling. Vic slightly lowered his voice but raised his pitch. Maybe? He grinned as he looked at it, then back to me. Marcus looked a little displeased, sighing as he spoke. Again, Victor? I don't like how you don't take from the pot. Vic raised his eyebrow, raising his upper lip. Are you going to introduce me to your friend, Vic? The attention shifted towards the vixen who finally broke their silence. Wow, I'm not even important enough to introduce? They got up on their top toes. Wait, their feet were already digitigrade, and leaped, attempting to whack Vic on the back of the head. Well, they got his neck. It was an attempt. Ow, Selma, what was that for? Now you took away the chance to introduce myself. Unbelievable. Selma sighed. They were about to elbow Vic in the side before thwarting their attempt mid-motion. Thankfully, the two self-diffused the situation, anticipating any possible tension. You spaz. Shh, you oaf. I'm sorry, Evan, she's a handful. Selma grinned as Vic placed an arm over her. He got in the last laugh as he gave her arm a tiny flick. Selma rolled her eyes before redirecting her attention back to us. I ignored the obvious "how did you guys meet" question, saving it for another time. I didn't want to make it awkward in case things were complicated. Marcus redirected the conversation back to volleyball. Well, you should probably start soon. I'm sure the Greek houses are going to kick us off in the next hour and a half. Once again, Kenny glanced at his phone and revealed the time to us. 4:30. Feel free to hop in, Selma. I bet Vic will thank you later. Oh, please. Selma and I intercollegiate athletes. He daintily placed his hand on his chest, pretending to act pompous. The two laughed off the remark as Marcus mouthed to Selma, "Blink twice if he needs help." He was more than happy to accept the request. The five of us walked onto the court. So, how are we going to do this? We could rotate around so each of us sits at once. We don't have to play full games. Are you guys cool with single games of 21? Everyone nodded and humphed in agreement. Alright, so who wants to play with who? I gave everyone a second before jumping to my first choice. I glanced at the hyena. So tall and massive, he's a short boy's dream. Hey Vic, can I be with you? Sorry Evan, but I'm taken. Of course you are. We returned to confusion, not sure how to do this. I mean, I could play with Marcus, but that might just be unfair. We probably have years of partnership experience over these guys, so I'll save him for last. Instead, I chose to play with someone new. I might as well make it fair height-wise. Can't have a game of tall versus short. That wouldn't be fair. You're kind of right. That'll be a quick one, that's for sure. Short rallies with nothing but aces from the short guys and kills from the tall guys. Well, I'm sure I could have kept up with you two. Kenny squinted at me. Man, this guy needs to have more faith in the short people. Maybe? Kinda? Whatever, no use thinking about it now. Yeah, you can count on me. I'll be by your side, you can count on me. Huh? Nothing. He sheepishly smiled back at me. You know, I said I have to finish my our lab report. Shouldn't take me more than 15 minutes. You spent 4 hours on it last night instead of visiting me. And I got just as much pleasure from it. I think we should start before things get out of hand. So, you all ready to start? Yeah, ready when you are. Oh, sure. Where did Vic go? Let's get it! Vic charged towards Marcus, throwing down a double-handed high-five to him as he proceeded to lap his half of the court. The way Marcus reacted made me unsure if he nearly snapped his bones. At least he took it like a champ. After lapping the court, Vic walked back to the centre of his side. Okay, I'm ready. You guys want serve? Nah, you guys can have it. You should see Kenny serve. It whizzes like a bullet. Looks like I made the right choice then. I assume you want to serve first then? Sure. I grabbed one of the balls laying by the mesh bag and tossed it to Kenny. He gave the ball a spin in his hand and stopped it with a slap. Looks like he had a routine with it too. I got into position ready for the game to start. I signalled the other side with a thumbs up. You guys ready? They both came with affirmative nod, followed with a yep. Time to get things rolling. Kenny gave the ball another slap. He took a running start, hurling himself forward with 2 brisk steps, followed by tossing the ball and leap in the air. With a crack of the whip, Kenny sent the ball veer into the middle of the court between the 2 defenders. Marcus took a stab at the serve, taking the seam between him and Vic. He made contact but sent it to his right, putting it out of reach for his teammate. Oh, my bad, Vic. That serve takes getting used to. I turned back to Kenny, who was in the middle of an underhand fist bump. I walked towards him and gave him a high five. Nice serve, man. I reached my arm out only to get my forearm slapped in return. Oh well, high fives are a tricky art to master. After I got back to my initial spot, Marcus retrieved the ball and rolled it through my legs towards Kenny. Before he picked it up, Kenny bent down and rubbed his hands together by his hips. Volleyball players and their routines. Without another word, Kenny started up his service routine again. 1 spin, 2 slaps and a 2-step running start before the toss. This time Marcus was more fortunate returning the ball. He passed the ball directly in front of himself towards the net. Vic ran to the target and set Marcus. Kenny was now by the net, lining himself up with a 2. Of course I was resolved to permanent passing duty. Kenny aligned his left arm with Marcus's hitting arm. Since Marcus was on my left, I dashed across court and took away his line, ready to take the attack head on. Damn it was a roll shot. The ball sailed over Kenny's hands and onto the short right side of the court. I remained in place. I had no chance of saving that one. A nice shot, Marcus. Oh, thanks. Vic gave Marcus a stern look. How could you do me dirty like that? That set was butter. Vic scrunched his shoulders, shrugging outwardly. Marcus huffed lightheartedly. Wait a minute, I've got to pick a side. Even if I dug that ball, we'd have been clueless afterwards. I should ask now, at least. Hey, Kenny, what side do you want to play? Are you fine with playing on the left? Since the left side was easier for most players, I might as well give that to him. He did say he only started playing a few years ago. Okay. Without hesitation, he walked over to my left, getting set for the next serve. That was easy. I should probably take the seam. I mean, he's a foot taller than me, for God's sake. I'll take seam. Okay. He replied using the same matter-of-fact tone as before. Well, he is very compliant. Marcus was back to serve. Since I've known him for so long, I know what's coming. A flat float serve to my right. How windy is it right now? I swooped my right hand and grabbed a handful of sand, slowly releasing it to check the wind direction. East. He's going to let the wind drag it wide. I shifted my legs. As I predicted, Marcus served it to the right sideline, sending it deep. Of course, he had to go for my weak spot. Fortunately, I detected it in time and cut it off, passing the ball to the middle of the court. Even then, it was hard for me to defend. Kenny chased my pass down and got ready to set. He tried setting me on the outside, but instead sent a low ball aimed beyond the sideline. Oh boy. I redirected my approach, moving sideways to give a semi-decent attack. I leaned my upper body to the right, just so I could get my left hand, my hitting hand, on the ball. The only attack I could make was a predictable roll shot. My hit was slow and loopy, but had enough pace to get over the net to Vic. With ease, he passed the ball to Marcus. Alright, Vic passed it inside, so the set should be... As soon as I collected my thoughts, Vic already attacked, sending the ball down Kenny's sideline. Did he just hit a slide? How? Neither of us were even prepared to defend. Kenny just got into the net while I was still running back. My bad, Kenny. I should have reset faster. Kenny wasn't too fazed by the point, acknowledging my comment, then going back to pass. Dang, I'm more amazed than frustrated with that slide. Never seen anyone do that in my life. And he did it in only 2 points. 2-0. Marcus slapped the ball and loaded his arm. I need to pay attention. This isn't going to be easy. This time Marcus aimed his serve at Kenny. Of course he would target the giant. I shifted left, taking away the path to Kenny. It wasn't perfect, but I managed to keep the ball off the net, sending it towards the front left corner of our side. Set me inside. Instead of relying on his hands, Kenny extended his platform and gave me a bump set. Unfortunately, he was off the mark again. This time the set was right on top of him. Move left, move left. I exclaimed to get Kenny out of the way. He shuffled left, enough to give me space to hit. Once again I gave an easy return, sending the ball to the middle of the court. This time Marcus vehemently called off Vic, receiving it himself. Hey, set me an A. What? Focus them, look at the player, not the call. Vic set Marcus towards the sideline, far away from where Kenny expected him to be. I was left in the entire back court to myself. Where do I stand? I have no idea about volleyball, so let's go to the centre. Your line's open. Kenny seemed to have heard the call, hurriedly throwing his arms up. However, he was a second too late. Marcus drilled the ball down the left line. The ball bounced a couple of feet in the air after its first landing. I hate to say it, God, I missed seeing that from him. Once again I was hung out to dry. Kenny took it hard, giving the net a tug as he landed from his block. I can't blame the poor guy. Looks like he's still getting used to the sand. Hey, we got this. Next point. I said with my best optimistic inflection. Without any further comments, the two of us moved on, setting up for the next serve. 15 minutes later... Things were not getting any better. Marcus and Vic now led 16-5. Thank goodness we reached the technical timeout at the 21-point mark. I was panting up a storm, getting bits of sand lodged in my mouth every now and again. The four of us went to the sideline where our backpacks were. I had to stop myself from chugging my entire flask of water because I was burning up. Kenny sat a few feet away from us, sipping his water bottle while looking off in the distance. Vic and Selma were chatting about Vic's last serve, a jump serve that zoomed between Kenny and me. Vic mimicked the trajectory of the ball, exaggerating a little bit, replicating a sharp nosedive with his arm. If coach doesn't let me jump serve this year, I get the club team to boycott my matches, right? He egged on Marcus for a compliment, grinning and pointing finger guns at him. You could just quit the intercollegiate team and join our club team instead. The three of them chuckled, Vic rolling his eyes at the thought. I looked over to the left to see Kenny still in his own world, deep in thought. Is he doing all right? I left the group and sat by Kenny. He was still thinking, hands clasped together. I made some noise, fastening my flask shut to get his attention. You doing all right? Just meditating. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You weren't. He nodded to visibly back up his statement. It's pretty humbling to be dominated like this. He looked away from me, lips sealed in a flat line. Sorry about that. You're fine. What were you saying? I was just going to say that I needed a break like this. That's all. He took intermittent looks at me. Well, if you need anything, let me know. I'm transferring here this year. Oh. I look forward to seeing you there. I'm going to put stuff away. Let us know when you're ready. Okay. Kenny looked up and smiled. I walked back to the group and put my flask away. We rested for another 30 seconds before starting up again. Vic turned and shouted out to everyone. Ready to finish this thing? Yeah. Sure am. Kenny, are you ready to keep playing? Sure. Kenny stood up and walked back to us. He put his bottle away, then trotted onto the court. The four of us got ready to continue. 16-5. Kenny and I slipped back into position. There was a lull in our banter. I could hear the ocean in the background. Vic tossed the ball up with a hefty amount of spin. The ball curved towards me. I go. The serve started to dip. I extended my arms out, scooping the ball with my platform. I turned to Kenny. Set me on. Kenny ran to the ball and gave me a set tight to the net. It's too tight. I dashed to the net, praying it wouldn't cross the net just yet. I can't hit this. Unless... So I jumped and extended my arms. I reached for the ball, relying on my last resort. I made a knuckle with my right hand, poking the ball with my index and middle fingers. The ball floated past Vic's block and straight behind him to the corner. Yes! I fist pumped the air and high-fived Kenny as I walked back to the service line. I turned back to him. Can you keep me off the net next time? I like the idea, though. All right. He gave it some thought, giving off a serious look while pondering it. He walked back to the net, holding the same expression. As the ball was rolled to me, I took a brief stop to collect my breath. 1 point at a time. I picked the ball up and got ready to serve. 6 serving 16. I held the ball in front of me with two hands, arms straight and stiff. I gave a low toss in front of me and leaped in my serve. I sent the ball curving left, aiming for Vic. Marcus started to move left. This time he was out of reach. The wind that he used on me earlier came back to haunt him, sending the ball towards Vic's left shoulder. Take it, Vic. Vic lifted his arms, hesitant at first. The ball reached his forearms and bounced off the side of his platform, aiming outwards towards the pole. Marcus bolted on a dime. He shifted his balance left and ran after the errant pass. He dove for it, landing in the sand and covering his chest in it. Sets off. Keep it in. Marcus shouted at Vic, implying an easy return. However, Vic ignored the precaution and sent the ball over with a hard hit. Is he crazy? Yet it went over just fine. I scooped a straight shot and sent it to Kenny, who was descending from his block. Passes off. I backed off as Kenny came into set. Set me outside. This time Kenny's wide set worked to my advantage. However, it was 10 feet off the net. Even Vic pulled off the net, expecting an easy return. Back to square one. You know what? Screw it, I'm going for broke. I took 2 steps forward and leaped, banking on my leg power. I'm going to show these giants that I can hit too. I loaded my arms and swung as hard as I could. Into the net. That was humiliating. My bad, Kenny. I'll keep it in play next time. I exchanged a high five with him. He nodded and made a slight grin. Don't worry, he'll get it. He walked back to pass, this time with a smile on his face. Why? Never mind. I should be happy he doesn't look dejected anymore. I picked the ball up and rolled it back to Marcus. After the game, the rest of the match continued as expected. Vic and Marcus continued to pick on Kenny's setting, making me look like a novice sending nothing but free balls back. The game ended with them winning 21-10. It's a pretty cruddy way to start off my day, not like I got much motivation from the news earlier. After a 2-minute break, Marcus invited Kenny back on the court with him. Marcus spread his legs out and made a crouching motion with them. You want to make a straight up and down motion with your legs, like this, to keep your sets from flying all over the place. He asked Kenny to follow along with him as they repeated the motion together a few times. Marcus proceeded to give Kenny a few more tips with his setting, while giving him a chance to practice his newly acquired skill. Do you want to try it out? Sure. Okay, I'll pass and hit then. The two spent a couple more minutes setting and hitting. Are you guys ready? Sure, Kenny and I will play together. Who wants to play against us? I will. I'll play with Evan. Wait, why? I mean, playing with Kenny was hell for my hitting, but at least he could hit. I was putting 2 short people together to solve that. This is going to be a disaster. Selma walked over to me and whispered, You're going to be fine. All we need to do is outrun them. I think it's going to take more than stamina to beat these guys. I don't know how Kenny is, but Marcus has better stamina than me. I know that about him. Just follow my lead. Kenny and Marcus took out a few balls from Marcus's mesh bag, threw them next to the sidelines. As Kenny took out the last 2, I asked him to wait. Hey, so who's serving? Kenny looked up at me puzzled. He looked back at Marcus. Want to roll for it? Yes, the 3 of us. Fine with me, I'll roll. Cool. Kenny, do you want to roll? Sure. Kenny tossed his other ball to Selma and the 2 lined up on the sideline, ready to roll for the serve. Closest without going over wins? Yep. On my count. 3, 2, 1, roll. The 2 balls scurried through the patchy sand. Selma's ball nicked the sideline and rolled over, going a few more feet. Kenny's ball has less power, stopping a few feet away from the line. That's unfortunate. Oh well, so do you guys want to serve? Marcus chimed in. Sure, on which side do you want? Since the wind was blowing directly east, neither side had an advantage. We'll stay here. Okay. Marcus turned to Kenny, asking him to serve first. This is going to be trouble. While I was on the other side of it earlier, now I would have to face Kenny's knuckleball of a serve. I'll take the right side if you don't mind. Fine by me. Selma leaned over to me as we got into position to pass. Send your attacks to Kenny. He only hits straight away. Okay. No wonder she is confident. If we could stop him from getting tight sets, and our height won't make a difference. Kenny slapped the ball as he got into his serving stance. Time to run them dry. Ready? Selma and I nodded. Service. Kenny took 2 steps, leaning forward into a jump float serve. The serve veered left. I go. Selma took the serve, lining up for the 3-step shuffle. The ball whirled in the air, slowing down as the ball only went a few feet forward. Set me straight up, she demanded. I moved my arms out and bump set the ball right in front of her. Kenny was on the net, taking away her line. The deep line was open. Deep line, deep line, I shouted. Selma clearly heard me, slowing down her approach and rolling the ball over his block with a high arm. Take it, Kenny. Kenny paused, the ball falling behind his back. With delay, he turned around and rushed to chase down the fleeting attack. He botched his contact, sending it flying behind him. "Stay off, Kenny." The plan was working. Marcus darted for the ball, covering a 20-foot gap and running through his pass. "You're off, stay off," Marcus said in a wary tone, cut off by his panting. Kenny turned around fully unsure where the ball was. Marcus's eyes widened. "Right, move right." Kenny saw the ball above his right shoulder, descending fast. Kenny's final contact went into the net. "Nice spot, Selma." We exchanged a high five. "Do you want first serve?" "You can have it." "Okay." I picked the ball up from under the net. I jogged back to the service line, spinning the sand off, and sailed. One serve. I lined the ball over my left shoulder. I glanced over to Selma, who appeared to give me signals behind her back. She made a fist with her right hand and wiggled it. Serve Kenny. I tossed the ball forward, running into the toss, swinging fast. I hit the left side of the ball, directing towards Kenny's outside. Ah! Kenny set the ball flying over the net. Selma ran in and took the return, commanding me to set her. "Keep me off." I ran to the net, setting the ball high, leaving Selma 10 feet from the net. Selma stepped back and swung at half power, sending it straight to Kenny's corner. The Lion ran back, having difficulty retrieving the ball. Shoot! Even though his pass was better, it was still too close to the net. Marcus is going to attack? Don't you dare. Selma and I were both far from the net, giving Marcus room to swing. The German Shepherd jumped, turning to swing. Nothing I can do. Gah! Marcus ripped the ball between me and Selma. He landed softly, finishing the motion with a brush of his hair, extending his hand out to Kenny. Nice set. Kenny reached out to high-five him. I turned to Selma. We need to keep Marcus off the net. Yeah. With Marcus' leap and swing, Kenny's errant passes could turn into perfect sets. We need to make Kenny hit those instead if we stood a chance. Keep Kenny off the net. Got it. Something felt a bit off. Are we approaching this right? We got back to pass, this time waiting for Marcus to serve. He tossed the ball, quickly raising his arms and swinging through. The ball dipped to Selma's left side. Crap, Evan, keep me off. The pass went past my right shoulder. All I could do to save her was give her a high set, easy for our opponents to read. I followed through on it, extending to the save and finishing with one knee on the ground. The set was off the net. Selma returned the ball, making Marcus run cross-court to pass. He had no problem with this, having time to spare as he passed and lined up with Kenny to attack. Kenny set the ball high and inside. Marcus picked up speed, accelerating his approach to jump to the centre of the court. The entire front of the court was open. Oh no. However, Marcus' arm swing slowed down, dropping the ball short from my corner. Crap, I have to all ass to get to this one. Mine. Come on. I laid out for the shot, sliding my right side to the sand and extending my arm. Got it. I saved the ball, sending it off the net and towards Selma. Set me high. I yelled to Selma. She crouched down, putting her legs into the bump set. I got up and ran for the set at 80%, having enough time to see the other side. Kenny was stuck, unsure whether or not to pull off the net. Opportunity arises. I jumped up and swung hard, aiming for Kenny's deep corner. The Lion batted for the high ball, only for it to slip through his hands. Yes, that's what I needed. I turned back to Selma and gave her a double high five. Great set. And great save. Keep them guessing. Got it. Should I try blocking? Selma scoffed. No way, we don't have the height to block them. Selma went back to serve. She finished her explanation. I got back to my passing position. Time to get pelted by the firing squad. Selma serve flew over me, falling short towards Kenny. The Lion made a downward dog, struggling to scoop up the ball. I got it. Marcus darted the other side, leaping sideways for the ball. Wait, leaping? Marcus sent a roll shot back cross court, short to Selma's side. The ball landed with no contest. I was speechless. Selma was more vocal about it. Are you freaking kidding me? She swatted at the sand. I remained silent. My bad. We exchange high fives, moving on to the next play. Looks like we have a duel on our hands. 10 minutes later. This game feels like a stalemate. Anytime we side out, Marcus and Kenny would make a rebuttal. Every time we scored, it took us an eternity. Send it short left. I poked the ball to the left corner. With gusto, Marcus dug the ball, leveraged it towards Kenny's arms. The line gave Marcus a very low set to the outside. Watch your deep. I motioned to Selma with my arm. She shifted her legs, taking a few steps back. Marcus sprung up and got under it. He snapped the ball as he finished with his arm still in the air. The ball cleared the net and fell in front of me. Dang it, Marcus, how did you know? A nice spot, Marcus. Well, thanks, nice set. For them, it took only a matter of seconds to score back. This is insane. Every one of our points was a grind to earn. For them to make it look easy to keep up was just insulting. 10-all. We were tied 10-10. Marcus was back to serve. We need to side out again. Marcus tossed the ball. As soon as Marcus made contact, Selma shifted right, shooing me off. Mine, mine, mine. The pass was right to me. I got in position to set, setting her off the net as usual. As per our game plan, we sent the ball to Kenny as he shifted off the net. Mine. Although not perfect, he passed the ball to Marcus on the net. Marcus started a charge. He's going to attack again. He jumped and brought his arms up. I got crouched, ready to take the hit. Hold on, what's he doing? The German Shepherd turned 90 degrees and kept both arms up, sending the ball sideways to Kenny. Shit, he fooled me. Kenny ran in and swung at the immaculate set. He drilled it at Selma, who could not bring her arms out in time. We were bamboozled. Selma slapped her hands forcefully. Son of a bitch! Well, that's Marcus. The Arctic fox glared at the lion. Selma stared daggers into Kenny, who shut up and turned around immediately. I was just as visibly peeved, and I shouldn't let him know. Hey, we'll get it in, here. As soon as I said that, Marcus pointed towards Vic and the sideline where our backpacks were. Do you want to take the technical timeout? Sure. Marcus and Kenny walked off casually, not feeling the burn from the last point. Selma and I walked slower off the court, spending each step, trying to piece together that last point. I turned to Selma. I'm going to be honest with you, I think we need to change our plan. Well, no shit, Marcus has us read like a book. Yeah, that's kind of his thing. What? I mean, I can see why it's happening. But how? Well, his vision on the court is impeccable. He can read bodies like they're textbooks. I don't know how you can shut that down. Right, that's pretty freaky. But why does he keep scoring on us? Maybe it's the same reason. Selma scratched her head, still puzzled. As she was thinking, she grabbed a bottle out of her and Vic's cooler, acknowledging Vic in the process. You're losing me. Wouldn't it be the same logic? If he can read an attacker, he could also read a defender. Like a kicker during penalty kicks. I guess that's one way to put it. Sure, that's an interesting way to put it. It's because she plays soccer, you dingus. I looked back at Vic, giving him an unamused expression. I should have told you that earlier. It's what I'm in the scholarship for. Oh, then how long have you been playing volleyball? Oh, since high school. They let us replace PE class with a year's worth of sport, so I played volleyball when soccer was in the off-season. Our off-season soccer class was a joke. Your school did that too. I did it, but our coach basically gave us credit for the off-season if we played for a club team. Okay, now you're making me jealous. I won't do that, Evan. You're going to have to go through me to get her. Selma rolled her eyes, poo-pooing Vic's remark. I'm still going to note that. Yeah, I'll pass. Anyway, about Marcus and Kenny. I searched for my backpack and pulled out my flask. How can we beat them if Marcus keeps fixing Kenny's passes? Selma took a second, but responded with confidence. How about we make Kenny set and Marcus hit? I think you're taking a few steps back. Remember what I just said about Marcus's vision? Yeah, his vision and choices are on point, but Kenny's sets are awful. Even if Marcus gets a good pass, Kenny's sets give Marcus fewer hitting choices because they're so low and flat. He's also pretty slow at getting off the net, so along with his hands his alignment will be off too. Right, even though we scored, Marcus barely had enough time to get a pop on that last attack. I mean, we did it unintentionally earlier and it made some chaos. Why not try it out now and switch things up later if it doesn't work? It works for me. Great. Another minute passed by before he went back onto the court. Marcus signalled to us, ready to continue playing. He gave the ball a pat, getting our attention. 11-10, service. Marcus served the ball deep, aiming it between me and Selma. I got it. I shifted left and passed the deep serve with my platform. The ball twirled in the air, hitting its peak in the air 15 feet from the net. Selma jogged to the ball, more than ready to set. I saw Kenny shift right, taking away the left side of the court. My line was open. Set me straight up. Selma gave me a bump set, giving me time to read the block. Was Marcus leaning left? Angle, swing angle. Before taking my eyes off of Marcus, I saw Kenny move further right. He was faking line. Ah! I cut the ball to my left, dropping it to my short angle. The ball landed in, hitting the sand and dribbling off the court. Yes, great spot. I caught their fake. Marcus and Kenny were left standing still, befuddled by my attack. 11-11. All we need to do now is handle their return and implement our plan. Selma went back to the service lines. I waited patiently in my passing spot. Rather than waiting for return, Selma served Marcus off the bat, banking on Kenny's shaky hands. Straight up, Kenny. Kenny froze mid-motion, processing how to line up his hands. He was going to hand set. The ball landed in his hands as he bent his wrist to release it. The ball came out spinning, rotating numerous times. Marcus caught the ball. At your point, Kenny doubled. I knew it. There was way too much spin for it to be considered clean, let alone playable. He rolled the ball to us as it bounced through the sand patches. Our plan was coming to fruition. After the match. The match swung at that point. Selma served 4 in a row, giving us a 14-11 lead. We took that lead home, winning comfortably with a 21-16 victory. Thank goodness we shifted gears. The 4 of us returned to the sidelines, recollecting our thoughts as Vic heckled the losing team. I didn't even block you guys, I'd have had a field day with that. Kenny was looking off, ignoring Vic's comment. Well, it looked like he was. Marcus gave a rebuttal to settle down the hyena. Dude, they made us run a marathon. I had to move cross-court every time they attacked. Shh, come on. All you had to do was bring down the hammer. Vic lifted his right arm and flexed his bicep. No comment. This break week took a little bit longer to catch up with each other. For me, that meant explaining how I got here. I talked about how I knew Marcus before this and how I transferred here. They took that fact a lot better than I expected. I always heard university students were snobs to community college students, considering them less qualified or broke. Oddly enough, they were pretty jealous with the tuition I had. I would have killed to have 2 less years of rent. And who would have you killed for it? Selma looked back at him, brandishing her air knife. You all know I'm witnesses, okay? The 4 of us laughed as Vic hid behind Kenny. Serious though, I wish everyone made GE courses that cheap. If I wasn't on scholarship, I'd actually have to kill someone to afford this. I have money. You could kill me if you had to. He remained unfazed. The rest of us went silent. Breaking the silence, Vic popped up from behind Kenny and pushed him forward. Well then, I have nothing to worry about. I'm not counting you out. I have to back Selma here. We could use your body for science. I hear there's biologists out there that can extract the tall genes. You'd make for a great subject. You would be a legend. Nope, you're all crazy. He stood up and started running away. It wasn't too long until he wore himself out and he sauntered back to his original spot. The commotion settled back down. Hey Vic, how tall are you? If he wasn't taken, I'd be all over him. Why am I like this? Vic buried his head in his arms and made a muffled scream. If you really must know, I'm 7'1". Oh my Lord. Evan, you okay, dude? I think you broke him. Try rewiring the mainframe, Vic. Vic put me in a headlock and gave me a noogie. My heart is racing now. I like this. I think I'm dying. Why must I be a sucker for height? You okay, Evan? Yeah, I'm fine. You should probably take a break this round. I don't want to fry your circuits again. He winked at me, nudging me with his elbow. Yeah, sure, why not? I took my phone out and unlocked it, glanced into the 3 notifications I received. The timestamp stated all of them being sent 20 or so minutes ago. Selma chimed into the rest of the group while I looked down. So, who wants to play with who now? Well, I'll play with you, Selma. Vic slumped his shoulders. So now you're going to leave me the cruel fate of playing defender? Why did Vic play defence? He's obviously the bigger of the two. Oh, I won't make you run that much, Vic. I'll do a great job for you. Vic looked up to Kenny and grunted. And you convinced me. I'm only doing this because your passing is garbage. Phew, and I was worried to have to put that to the test. No wonder, he was terrible at passing earlier. Vic really is into collegiate play. He'd probably learned how to pass along with everyone else. The 4 of them continued chattering as they got on the court. I looked back down on my phone and opened up the first message. Dad, if you heard back from that volleyball company, you should keep looking for internships in case they don't follow through. Why must you get on my case about this? You know I've been searching all summer and still keep prodding me to find work. Dad, leftover pizza's in the freezer when you get home. Of course he bought pizza from Safeco for the 3rd week in a row. I've had that pizza so many times now I nearly recoil whenever I see it. I looked back at the court. The game was already in progress. I saw Marcus making an easy pass as Selma ran at half speed to make the set. Vic was getting something at Kenny, who cocked his head in response. I'm sure things were going swimmingly for them. Now, what's the last message? Kevin, bro, how's university treating you? Haven't heard from you in a while. I wonder how Kevin's doing in New Victoria. Mom hasn't given me any updates about him as of late. The last one was like 2 years ago. It hasn't started yet. Quarter system is whack. I go back in 2 weeks. What have you been up to? After I sent off my message, I slipped my phone back into my backpack and diverted my attention. The breeze died down, and after an afternoon of scorching heat, the sand started feeling bearable again. I felt cathartic digging my feet into the sand, as if my anxiety was being grounded by, well, the ground. Kenny, you got to run that ball down. That was not impossible to get. Well, I'm not the one playing defender. You still need to try. I misstepped. The 2 guys continued bickering. Marcus and Selma were shagging distant balls as they carried on their rebuttals. As Marcus grabbed the last stray ball, he deviated his path back to reach me. Everything okay over there? Oh, just another squabble. They'll burn out in a second. Marcus rubbed the back of his neck, looking back at them. Okay then, we'll try to make this quick. Seems like you're doing a good job with that. Later. Marcus walked back onto the court, giving a casual underhand high five to Selma as she walked back to serve. I retrieved my phone back out and opened a new message. Kevin. Same old, roommate stealing my snacks again. Guess I deserve it for mooching off Terrence's webflix. Yep, same old Kevin. I better ignore him before he... Kevin. I need a brother tax. Could you lend me $40? I'll pay you back in a couple of weeks. Okay. Why'd you expect me to lend him money? I'm the one still in college. He's been out of school for years now. Kevin. I'll treat you once you come down to NV. Thankfully it's an investment. But wait, huh? Does he think I have the money? He should be asking Mom or Dad. You better give me one hell of a dinner once I see him again. Okay, I'll budbuck you. You better treat me once I get there, though. The recipient typing icon popped up within seconds. This better be worth it. Yeah! Someone knocked me onto my back and landed on top of me with full force. My phone flew out of my hands. Are my playing days over already? No, they can't be. My head was in a daze. I feel dizzy enough to pass out on the sand. Not like it would be that uncomfortable. Whoever was on top of me started to lift themselves off, lightening the load on my relatively twig-like body. They felt like a bag of bricks on top of me. If I die, this would be a fine way to go out, crushed by Himbo. Are you okay, Evan? It took me a minute, but my dizziness wore off. I guess I wasn't deserving of such an awesome death. My head was a little bruised, but my cognition was back to full strength. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been trucked that hard. You took a pretty rough landing. Sorry about that. I was trying to save the ball. He turned to Vic, staring him down as he finished his sentence. Yeah, bro, you went all out for him. You didn't even check your surroundings. You can't think about that when saving a play. Like my coach says, you gotta sacrifice your body. You also sacrificed Evan's body. Just collateral damage. You're not helping your case. The two reignited their banter, stepping away from me to resume. Do you need anything? My apartment is nearby if you want me to bring ice. I think I'm good. It wasn't that bad of a hit. It was very forceful. When Kenny commits to something, he commits. Sometimes that even means he'll forget what's around him. I sure learned that the hard way. Yep, at least it wasn't Vic. He'd have been flattened like a pancake if he tried to do that. I'll add that to the list of things that can kill me. You don't need to worry. I'll send him to the hospital if he ever tried anything like that. I'll add that too. Think of it this way. If anyone tries to fight you, you got us. Sounds like a good trade-off. Well, I don't know where I would be in this equation. Come on, Marcus, you're pretty strong. I'm sure you could stand your ground. Well, I'm not as strong as these knuckleheads over there, but I'll contribute. Speaking of which... Hey, meatheads, are we going to finish playing or what? With the flip of a switch, Vic and Kenny stopped arguing and turned to Selma. Yeah, we're ready. With their head and shoulders scrunched inwards, they trudged back to the court. Selma and Marcus followed suit. Now, where did my phone land? I got up from the scene of the crime and meandered around the sidelines looking for my phone. I'm sure the thing got covered in sand. Better not be buried too deep. I scavenged around the backpacks first, seeing if somebody got wedged between two adjacent bags. No luck. The next spot I checked was Marcus's mesh bag. Once again, no dice. The search started to become hopeless as I considered calling it with Marcus's phone. How far could it have gone? I didn't think I sent that thing flying into orbit. I retraced what I could remember of the incident. Kenny landed on me from my right side and my phone was in my left hand. The furthest it reasonably could have gone was a couple of feet. Unless I fell on top of it, it must have gone left. I felt a solid bar under my foot. I'd only taken 3 steps left before finding my phone lodged in a divot made by my impact. Dad would probably be pissed if I had to buy a new phone. He'd probably make me pay for the phone and make me pay more of our family plan. I hate how he bundles everything for the family. I'm not a kid anymore. We're all adults who are pretty much independent. Once I'm done, it'll just be you two. I picked my phone up and brushed it off, seeing that the screen went into sleep mode a while ago. The notification was no longer there, so I unlocked the phone and searched on my messages app. There it was, his reply. Kevin, for sure. I wasn't too surprised. He tends to be brief with people. It wasn't any different with family. After going on my own miniature treasure hunt, the game had ended, the 4 of them giving high fives to each other just as I was about to sit down again. We rejoined by our backpacks next to the pole of the net. So, what happened? Marcus turned to me and the others were still digging through their bags. It went alright, nothing too special. 21-6 isn't mundane, we got obliterated by them. Vic blurted out as Kenny turned around. That's more in line with what I thought. Kenny raised an eyebrow. Oh, I thought it was fair, they just wore us out. It's not fair that I'm so tall. Oh, how tragic. I would kill for that. Still boggles my mind why you played defender instead of Kenny. Oh, I don't think I've done much better than him. I think we only had like 1 dig combined that entire game. It's neither our strong suits, but unlike Kenny, I had to learn some passing for the intercollegiate team. You know you two could have switch blocked. Vic's face went blank. What's switch blocking? How did they even make it to 6 points? You mean both of us pass? Well, kinda. You know, whoever hits the ball over blocks while the other guy plays defender. I know what it is, I'm just... disappointed in myself for being so stupid. Oh, I don't think you're stupid, Kenny replied with a cheeky grin and friendly eyes. Well, that's because you're a theatre major, you dingus. Vic playfully slapped Kenny on the back of the head. You sure act like it. Now, if you saw my engineering classes, you think I'm brain dead. That's really unfair of Vic to say. Just because it's an art-related major doesn't mean you're dumb. Every major has its share of tough work, just in different ways. This stuff drives me nuts with my parents. They put my sister on a pedestal for becoming an accountant, then brush off the work I've done for my sports management major. I'm not doing it because it's easy. That's pretty condescending to say, Vic. The theatre major thing. Theatre students aren't inherently dumb. That's a joke, man. I know it's also challenging. Lahaina said to me in a lower tone as Kenny glanced away. We're just sticking around with each other. I'm sure you'll keep up with us. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. We paused for a bit. So, do you want to partner up now with the bully? He puffed his chest out as he pointed to himself with his thumb. Why not? Pick on Kenny again. I'll make sure to run you dry. Anything but that. Oh, I will. Vic cowered as he squatted in the sand. I got you if you need help, Evan. Vic's eyes widened as he turned to Selma, then back to me. I will do anything you ask. Cool. I do need a water bottle after this match. Done. We gave each other a high-five fist bump combo and got up as Vic motioned to the other three. Yo, who wants to play us now? The three looked at each other, eyeing each other to figure out. Well, I think Marcus should take a break. He's been carrying all of us. We laughed as Marcus grinned sheepishly and rolled his eyes. Well, I couldn't have done it without my partners. So you'll play against us with Ken then? Sure, come on, Kenny. The Arctic Fox motioned to the lion. He grabbed the ball and the two joined us on the court. Want to roll for serve again, Vic? You know I'm going to beat you this time. Right. Shh. Kenny and I moved to the right side of the nets. They went behind the sideliners and left. 3, 2, 1, roll. Selma released the ball with her hand slightly sideways, giving it some backspin. Vic gave his ball some arc, relying on the following bounce to propel it forward. Vic's ball brushed up against the other sideline, while Selma's only travelled halfway across the court. Looks like we're going Dutch tonight. We could do double or nothing, but I don't want to be rude. Loser pays for the winner's dinner? Bet. Aye, so we'll stay on this side. Okay, we'll take receipt. I limboed under the net to Vic's side as Selma went the other way, as greeted by a hooligan on the other side. Let's get it! Like the previous time with Marcus, he raised his arms up and swung down full force to give me a double high five. I outstretched mine in response. Well, I can't feel my hands anymore. Maybe that'll be a good thing. You want to serve first? Yeah, why not? Vic's boisterous attitude immediately subdued. The players on the other side were ready to pass. I made sure to give a thumbs up to everyone to confirm. So, I slapped the ball. Zeros, service. I inhaled, holding the ball out in front of me with my right hand. One serve. Behind his lower back, Vic was giving me some blocking calls. He's also shaking his left hand. Serve Selma deep. Fine, I'm trusting you on this one. I turned my imaginary scope towards Selma's right shoulder. I'm going to serve her deep, I'm going to do it or it hurt me most. I tossed the ball forward and hit its centre. The ball rose high in the air and started to drop as Selma rotated clockwise to retrieve the deep float. I got it. Selma extended her arms and waved them, motioning Kenny towards the net. Her pass was about 15 feet off the net, making Kenny backtrack. Vic moved his left foot back, ready to pull off. Without a word, Kenny arrived at the ball's target spot and made an unbalanced set with his platform. It was heading further off the net. Time for a free ball. Pull off, Vic, pull off. Almost immediately, he turned back and shuffled off the net, standing parallel to being ready to pass on the left side. Selma took a stab at the set, sending it back to us high and slow. Mine. Vic scooted right, taking up the entire court. I followed suit and got ready to set. When I saw at a glance, Selma was set to pass, while Kenny was still running for the net. The option was open. Vic passed the ball and lined up in the middle. As his pass hit its peak, I turned parallel to the net, lining up to hit. I bent my knees, prepared to jump. Straight up, straight up. I pushed against the ground. As Kenny arrived at the net, he jumped with me. Before I went airborne, I aborted my leap, setting Vic sideways a few feet to my left. Vic charged in, clearing the net with ease and taking a hefty swing straight down the line. The ball landed hard near the side, rebounding several feet into the air and rolling far from our court. Selma was left stranded in the middle. Let's go! Vic gave me a meaty high five. Like that set? I could hit that all day. He gave me 2 swift pats on the shoulder. Keep that up and we'll be cruising. You got it. Kenny rolled the ball to me. I picked up and trotted behind the service line. 1 serve. Vic signaled behind his back. So he's taking Kenny's line, but he wants me to serve Selma again? Okay. I ran to the line, turning my upper body 30 degrees to the left. The ball went cross-court to Selma. Although go was deep this time, it still was somewhat off course. The pass went right to Kenny, who was still 10 feet away from the net. You're off, set me off, Kenny. Vic shifted left. I moved up ready to move on the fly. Selma backed up. Kenny leaned back as the ball came towards him. He bent his arms in and made a flailing motion to set it. Yeet. The ball went in the sky directly above him. Kenny skirted out of the way and Selma bolted over the spot, hopping on one leg to attack. I didn't have to tell Vic to pull off by the time she was hitting. Vic was already at the centre of the court, back to pass again. I followed suit and pulled away, arriving at the net. Take the pass, Evan. Selma lofted the ball into the air, but it was falling short. Shoot, I got it. The ball was heading towards the left side of the court. I made a swift dash and passed it back towards Vic. I turned around to see Vic leaping for an attack. Neither of them were prepared. With a heavy swing, Vic sent the ball between the two, leaving them victim to the attack. Vic promptly turned back and high-fived with nearly the same force. Ah! Nice option, man. We exchanged high-fives. Thanks, I used my big boy brain. He tapped his index finger against his noggin and smirked, beaming with pride. Are you fine with that set? Yeah, sure, works for me. I nodded back with a grin, satisfied with what had transpired. I picked up a ball by the back line and prepared to serve again. I breathed in. 1 serve. Wait. Does anyone know the score? It's 2-0. Okay, 2-0. Service. I tossed the ball and swung. And sent it into the net. My bad, Vic, I need to keep that in. I held my left hand up and tapped my chest with the other. Although I accepted my high five, it was softer and slower. Without another word, we got back to pass. Selma was up to serve. I leaned to Vic, waiting for her to be ready. Want me to take scene? Sure. Okay. His expression became stern, focused on Selma. I moved my attention back to her. She cocked her hand, ready to launch the ball. 1 serving 2. Her body turned left. Selma floated the ball and line a path to Vic. I branched off, ready for Vic's pass. Oh, this isn't good. The ball hit Vic's bicep, spraying it to his left. Great. I got it. I kicked it into high gear and ran the ball down, saving it with a high bump set. Looked to be a couple of feet off the net. You're off, Vic, stay off. Vic approached the set. Without hesitation, he brought his arms up. What's he doing? Rather than playing it safe, Vic took a strong crack at the ball and was rejected by Kenny's block. Kenny had ample time to set it up. The ball rebounded back to our side with a sharp angle, smacking the ground and getting a few feet on each remaining bounce. Nice one, Kenny. That'll teach him to mess with us. She high-fived Kenny. With the last bounce, Vic caught the ball and underhand punched it with his fist, sending it speeding to the other side. I was still trotting back to the court. Hey, we'll get it next point. He didn't look back, so I attempted to give him a high five. He furrowed his brows and crouched for the next serve. Okay then. 2s. With momentum, Selma tossed the ball up and hit the ball, aiming for Vic's left side again. This time it hit Vic's forearm, but on the outer part of it. Shit. This time I was more prepared and had more time to spare as I gave him a set tighter to the net. Fire away, buddy. You're on. Kenny's taking angle. Kenny lined his right arm with Vic's right shoulder. This time he realised. Vic juked left and went for an outside approach. Like a hammer, Vic struck down with tenacity, yet Selma scooped the ball with ease. Without looking back at me, Vic got on the net, holding the finger behind his back. He finished signalling a second later. He was taking line. I shifted right and sat in the angle spot. Kenny set the ball high to Selma, leaving both her and Vic to decide what would happen next. Selma ran in fast at first, but slowed her motion as she took her final steps. Her hitting arm dropped as she turned her upper body left. She's rolling line, Vic. Pull off. Selma rolled the ball high over Vic's block with finesse, shooting it to his back corner. Vic turned but halted after making a step. Go, Vic, you got it. I yelled at him, begging him to chase it down. After a few steps, he gave up, knowing he wouldn't get there in time. The ball tagged the sideline. Vic crouched and swiped at the sand in anger. Bruh, you gotta help me there. I can't do shit about that. He bared his fangs at me, gritting his teeth. Oh my god, I might actually get crushed by Himbo. I'll avoid that hornet's nest. I calmed myself down and got set to receive again. I gave Vic space to recuperate. A few seconds later, he was under control. 2 serving 3. Selma started her approach. As she finished, her body turned into the court, sending the ball between me and Vic. I need to take this. I go. I shooed Vic away, leaving me to pass the curveball. I got behind the ball, but not enough under it, setting on track to go over the net. I can't believe I made an overpass. But before the ball could cross the plane of the net, Vic charged to the net. He and Kenny were ready to joust. Kenny made first contact, pushing the ball back to our side. But then Vic responded, shoving it down on Kenny's side. Kenny had no power to fight back. The ball descended and fell to his left. Get murked! Vic flexed his right arm. He turned around and high-fived me with intensity, coming off the high of his kill. He had a grin from ear to ear. Just when I regained feeling in my hands again. Keep it up, Vic. I picked up the ball and handed it off to Vic. With a new swagger, he marched back to the service line. 20 minutes later, the game resumed smoothly. At least that's what I have said if each of our streaks weren't followed by 3-point droughts. There were a fair share of ups and downs, and now Vic and I were back in the lead. The score was 19-18. He's going angle. With a flip of the switch, Vic turned his arms in and stuffed Kenny's bold attempt. Vic double fist pumped the air, making a underhand jab to flex his arm muscles. That's it, Vic. I gave Vic a high five in return. After it landed, Kenny kicked the ball back to our side. I picked it up and placed it in his arms. I pursed my lips as I inhaled, dreading what I was about to say. I know it's hypocritical of me to say, but go for it on this serve. Way ahead of you. He sent 4 jump serves flying way out of bounds earlier. He promised that he could make it before his first serve. And his second. And his third. And his fourth. You better prove me wrong now. Vic slapped the wall. Game point to 18. Service. Without missing a beat, Vic sent the ball flying in the air. There was way more spin on it than last time. As I turned to face the other side, I heard thundering footsteps closing in, stopping after the third one. The madman did it. He finally made a jump serve. Kenny was frozen on the other side, clueless how to counter it. The ball nicked the sideline and spiraled off the court. That was glorious. Whoa! Vic exclaimed, thrusting himself forward with a trot and fist bump. He swiped me a high five as we walked to the net. Good game, guys. Same to you. We gave light high fives to each other and headed to where Marcus was sitting. All the while, Selma and Vic reignited their banter. Victory's going to taste so good. This was such a terrible bet. This time I'm going to order 3 burgers from Harvey's. Over my dead body. How much is that worth? Enough to end our relationship. Vic paused to think about his ultimatum. Looking forward to the burgers, honey. Selma sighed, trying to pout. She only managed to hold a pouting face for a few seconds before cracking up. Someday you'll find a better man. Not like you can do any worse. Hey! He gave Marcus a shove. I'd love to see you try. In due time. Marcus adjusted his spot in the sand, moving over so we could sit down. I opened up Vic's cooler and grabbed a bottle of water. Fortunately, I didn't take out any of the other choices. Why do you have a bottle of straight vodka in here? Oh, it's because he's going to make the ultimate loser finish it off. Yeah. How's everyone doing so far? Not too bad. I'm 2-1. Same. Ditto. Guys, I think we're all 2-1. Vic's mouth went agape as he placed his hands on his cheeks. How's that possible? Well, if we went 2-1, then that must mean... Kenny? Kenny was looking down at the sand. Kenny? Yeah? What's your record? How many games did we play today? 4 so far. That's my record. Wins or losses? Kenny squirmed in his spot. Losses. You played 4 games already? Yeah, why'd you ask? So you played with everyone? Yep. Looks like you have a head start then. Or you won't be too intoxicated by the time we finish our game. Have fun. Vic patted the top of his cooler and then stood up. You guys ready to finish off the night? Yeah, the only person I haven't played with yet is... you. She glared at Vic. Oh, poor you. The two chuckled as he helped Selma up. I guess that means we're playing against Marcus and Evan. Cool. Ready, Marcus? Yep. We propped ourselves up off the sand. Time to rekindle some old memories. The 4 of us got on the court ready to play. Do you guys need to warm up? I'm fine. Same. Okay, do you want serve or receive? Oh, we'll take serve. Okay, we'll take this side. Marcus and Vic returned to their partners. Marcus and I acknowledged each other with a grin and a nod, followed by a high five. Ready? Yep. Let's get it! Well, at least we know they're ready. Want me to take scene? I'll take it this time. We turned to face Selma, who was walking back to serve. She was saying something imperceptible to Vic. I got it, he said before turning to face us. He's standing in position to block, giving signals to Selma behind his back. Service. Selma smacked the ball. As it crossed the net, it curved towards me. Take it, Evan. I shifted left and took the serve. The ball made a clean bounce off my platform and towards the net. I got it. I'm with you. Set me inside. I lined myself up from Marcus. We were a couple of feet left from the court centre. Selma pointed at us, still ready to pass. What's the option? Vic stepped up, committing to the block. He was taking away my angle. Marcus raised his arms up and gave me a crisp overhand set. It was high enough for me to make a thought-out decision. He's taking line. Oh crap, he faked the angle block. I'm running out of time to choose. Where's Selma? She was still near the back line. Though she was moving to cover my angle, she thinks I'm going to send it deep. I know what to do now. With the flick of her wrist, I turned the ball left and cut it at the short angle. Selma dashed, trying to make up missed time. Take it, Selma. Vic backed off. Sprawling out, Selma reached her right arm out. She could only get the ball a few feet up, sending it below the net and ended to our side. Nice work, Marcus. Oh, nice shot. Marcus saved me with that call. Knowing how could I have beaten Vic's block otherwise. I picked up the ball and went back to serve. One serve. Marcus stood right in front of the net, giving me signals. Serve Vic's line and take his angle. Got it. With a straightforward approach, I tossed the ball and propelled it down Vic's left side. It was going deep. Too deep. However, Vic raised his arms and tomahawked the ball up. It wasn't very pretty, but it was enough for Selma to dish off a decent set to Vic. Time for some action. Marcus reminded me of what he was blocking, putting his right hand behind him and holding out one finger. He was taking Vic's line. Set me a 4. Selma took a quick peek at our side before looking back and sending a medium speed set to Vic's outside. Had an arc, but enough speed to make a split second decision. I camped in the middle of the court, waiting for Vic to jump. When the step closed, Vic rose in the air, ready to swing. I pulled left, moving into his angle. Vic turned mid-air to face me. He's ready to pelt me. No mercy. Crap! As Vic started to swing, Marcus turned his block inwards at the last minute. Vic ripped the ball into the block, which bounced back onto his side and past Selma, landing behind them in bounds. Yes, Marcus! I gave him a swift high five to celebrate. Thanks. He grinned back, not showing too much expression. I picked up the ball and went back to serve again. One serve. I glanced at Marcus's signals. Same thing as last time. Got it. 1-0. I tossed the ball forward, putting more momentum into my approach. This time my serve beamed over the net, falling to Vic's lap. I made another shaky pass a few feet to his left. Move, Vic, stay off. Selma ran down the errant pass and popped a high ball for Vic to return. Without having to say it, Marcus was already pulling off the net and splitting the court with me, ready for the free ball. No one up, send it wherever. Unlike his recent attacks, Vic came into this one slower and hit it back with more caution. The ball was approaching me. I go. Marcus ran to the net, ready to set. With a couple of steps, I got to the ball and passed it nice and high. I'm with you, set me straight. Vic was back on the net by the time I made my pass. It's a poke, pull off. Marcus sent a poke shot to Vic's right. He peeled off and got enough leverage under the ball to make a controlled pass. I got it, set me a 2. Since he was already facing inwards, Vic got a head start in his approach. Selma gave him a faster and lower set. She turned to cover. You got one up, he's taking angle. I ran to the right sideline and opened up. Though he's in the middle of the court, Marcus lined up with Vic's leg, even moved the entire right side. This is going to hurt. Vic jumped and ripped the ball cross-court straight into my platform. The ball soared into the air, moving 3 feet forward in the process. I stepped back for an approach. Up, I'm with you. Marcus ran to the ball, did a quick check to the side before focusing on the set. He set the ball 5 feet from the net with a faster tempo. I hopped in and made my approach. Deep line, go deep line. I was airborne when I heard this. Vic was all over my line though. I got my hand under the ball and snapped it high, clearing the block by a foot. The ball was heading for the corner when Selma intervened and dug it. I'm here. Vic bolted the ball, getting under it and throwing up a set. The trajectory is smooth and slow enough for Selma to approach after getting up. Marcus ran back to the net, giving me another call. Line. Marcus is up, hit angle. Making stride to the set, Selma ran in and jumped. Within half a second, Marcus followed suit and jumped to block her. I moved far left, preparing for the short angle shot. Take angle. Marcus shifted his block, but not in time before Selma knocked the ball off his block into the middle of the court. I had no chance to recover it. That's it. Vic enthusiastically high-fived Selma and followed up with a brief hug. Marcus walked back to me, holding his hand to his chest. My bad, I'll shift earlier. No worries, I can take that away next time. We gave each other a high five to reconcile and prepared for the next serve. Vic was back at the line. 1 up. Vic spun the ball in his right hand. Marcus and I backed up ready for a deep jump serve. With a soaring toss, Vic ran in and ripped his jump serve. It's going out. Marcus turned his head and chest to me. I let the ball soar over my head and beyond the back line. The ball landed 5 feet out of bounds. Vic snapped his fingers. Yikes, I'll keep it in next time. Selma extended out so Vic could high-five her. Good call, you got served. Marcus nodded in agreement and retrieved the ball closer to us. Since he was serving, I put my hands behind my back so he could confirm his calls. You want this? I closed my left hand and gave 2 fingers on my right hand, shaking it. Yeah. I retreated my hand and got into position to pass. 2-1. Marcus sent the ball down Vic's line. This time he wised up and shifted before the ball crossed the net. He got a decent pass off, which put Selma in the centre of the court. Marcus was on the net by this time. Up. Vic broke his crouch and moved in, his eyes lit up. Yes. With the same speed as his words, he rushed into attack. Marcus shifted right with Vic. Selma shot off a low, flat set. Was he really? Hitting a shoot. Vic hit the ball in a sharp angle, bouncing it inbounds with feet to spare. All right. Vic smiled, giving Selma a double high five, following up with a hug. Nice swing, Vic. He looked back to Marcus. Thanks. Well, I didn't think you could do that. Well, I learned a trick or two this summer thanks to her. With his thumb, he pointed to Selma. Well, that's news to me. You guys have been playing together this summer? We did a couple of co-ed tournaments. We probably would have done more if we weren't taking LN 110A this summer. Yeah, same here. History 12 is a pain in the arse. But at least this summer the course is online. Who do you have? I had Jacobs in the spring. Oof, that's rough. But now I have Mackenzie. While they were talking, Selma grabbed the ball and waited at the service line. I had Jacobs last winter. Worst GE of my life. Yeah, I only chose things to fit my schedule. I sure learned my lesson. Not like any of them were on his exams. I know, right? You guys ready to keep going? Vic looked back. Sure. But yeah, let me know if you need any recommendations, professors. The four of us refocused on the game. Okay then, 2 up. Selma cocked her arm back, signaling to serve. Take seam this time. Okay. Selma sent a float serve to the middle of the court. The ball was mine. I got it. I butted in and received the serve. I had no problems keeping it in line with me. Marcus moved to my side and got in front of me, setting the ball. Swing angle. I jumped to hit, looking at the block. Why do you want me to swing there? Wait, I see. I swung hard between Vic's arms, which were spread wide apart. I managed to hit the inside of his right arm and send the ball back to our side, making it land out of bounds. I gave a fist bump. Great call, Marcus. I pointed back, then used the same hand to high-five him. I'm amazed he saw that opening. And a nice swing. I retrieved the ball from Ken, whose lap the ball landed in. Keep it up. Can do. It was my turn to serve again. I slowed my pace down as I got to the service line. 1 serve. 3-2. I glanced at Marcus's new signals right on the other side. Vic had shifted left, leaving Selma more off the court. She's pinching him in. Might as well exploit that. Selma leaned back to her right and backpedaled. The ball outran her. She could only scrape the ball, but it bounced off and flew further back. Ace. Nice spot, Evan. We exchanged high fives. Selma was pondering what just happened, figuring out how to respond to Vic. Yeah, fine, Selma. It was a good spot. I could have got that. Selma high-fived Vic while turning back to faces. She rolled her eyes and repositioned herself. Let's keep this going. I retrieved another ball and prepared to serve. 1 serve. 1 point left before we switch sides. Switch point, 4-2. Should I keep serving Selma? Well, let's say yes. I don't know what's good or bad. Again, I know nothing of volleyball. Might as well keep the pressure on her. Once again, I sent the ball deep to her right. Selma got to the ball in time to make a high pass, easy for Vic to set. I'm here, set me here. Got it. Marcus pulled off the net to pass with me. Vic's set was a good distance away from the net. Both of them are off. Selma slowed down her approach. What short? I pulled up, expecting it to happen. Selma rolled the ball short to Marcus' side, making me run cross-court to retrieve it. It's dropping fast. It took me a diving effort to save it. Up. I didn't give Marcus much time. To better our situation, sent a high free ball back over to buy his time. While I got up and transitioned back to pass, he stayed to block. Free ball, I got it. Selma cleared the area, leaving Vic to pass. You got 1 up. Perfect, set me a purple. Vic turned to his right and ran behind Selma. Marcus picked up on this and followed him, holding 2 fingers behind his back briefly. I need to haul ass to dig his line. I ran over to the left side, expecting a straight shot. And as predicted, he hit it right to me. I couldn't save it. The ball hit my shoulder and flew out, losing us the point. Sorry, Marcus, that's on me. Well, you're fine. I'll set up a better block. After another festive celebration from Vic, the hyena interjected. Side switch. The score's 3-4. Okay. Marcus and I ducked under the net as we traded sides. Nice attack, Vix. Great set, Selma. We exchanged high fives. We ducked under the net and traded sides. 15 minutes later, 34 points had passed and things are too close for comfort. We had the lead for most of the game. Swing line. Hell yeah! That was the third consecutive point that got blocked. The crazy part is, my first two attempts were roll shots. Vic contacted both of them mid-air and batted them down. Even with Marcus's calls, Vic was all over me. 18-17, that's a side switch. I huffed to myself after handing the ball off to Vic. This moment he's the bane of my hitting existence. Once we finished switching sides, I turned to Marcus. How do I get around that block? I don't know, what you're doing seems fine. What am I supposed to do if they keep serving me? It's like I'm trapped. I'll try swiping. Me? Swipe? He's going to shut me down through force. You blabbermouths ready over there? Vic asked. He's on the net while Selma was back to serve. I can already see the Greek houses bustling. Sure. Marcus did one last comment to me. Oh, trust me, it's worth a shot. At this point, I might as well try something new. Alright, 18 serving 17. Service! Selma aimed a serve at me. The wind may have died down, but there was some curve to the ball. I'm struggling to line myself up. I got it. Shoot, I didn't get under it. The pass is heading straight to the net. Marcus ran to the net and leaned right to set it. With some finesse, he managed to set me without touching the net. You're tight. It wasn't an amazing set, but it's enough for me to do something with it. Might as well try it now. I opened my left hand and pushed the ball into Vic's hands. So much resistance. My arm was to the point of giving out. I just need to swipe it. Right. The ball spun as I released it. It was no use. The ball only moved an inch before falling back to my side. Damn it. With less vocal effect, Vic rejoiced in his block to Selma. You're close at least. I can't beat him. It's like I'm stuck in a box when I hit. Marcus had nothing else to say. We let the lull settle in and got back to pass. I'll take seam again. Okay. With the slightest sense of urgency, Selma announced the score and served. 19 serving 17. And of course she's serving me again. Screw this. I sent the ball back over the net, aiming for the right corner. Somehow it worked. The ball landed uncontested. You're dirty, Evan. Well, I was desperate. The group laughed for a second. Whose serve is it? I think it's Marcus's serve. Okay. He walked back to the service line and got a different ball. I'm counting on you, man. I can't do crap right now. Do you want this? I gave him some signals. No. This? Change your left. I moved my left arm, pretending to adjust my signal. I kept it sealed as a fist. Yep. It was our little secret we did to sometimes throw off the other team. 18-19. Service. With a two-step approach, Marcus floated the ball to Selma, who made easy work out of it. Set me outside. I'm on it. Vic raised his arms and set Selma near the pole. Wait, is Marcus blocking her again? Why? Marcus crouched, ready to leap and block her. Once she jumped, Marcus turned and pulled out. Deep line, deep line. Even Vic was fooled by Marcus's facade were blocked. Selma lowered her hitting arm and poked the ball to his back corner. With the extra time acquired, Marcus ran back and scooped the shot, giving me plenty of time to come in and set. I'm here, set me straight up. I got under the descending ball and gave Marcus a handset straight up on the outside. He picked up acceleration, making a swift leap to attack the ball. Vic was right on his line. Angle, angle, angle! I yelled, making sure to get through to him. Even with his massive block, Vic left a narrow gap for him, but it was closing fast. He would need to swing there in order to beat it. Marcus got his hand over the ball and poked it down by some miracle. It crossed the net and landed short of Selma, who laid herself out in the sand. Ah! She belted out, sounding exasperated. She really wanted that one. Vic was bewildered. His lips made a line pointing downwards as he swiveled his head slightly side to side. Hey, no biggie. It was a good play. He helped Selma up as their visible frustration went away. That was amazing. I gave Marcus a solid high five. He grinned. Well, thanks for the set. He picked up the ball that was rolled back to him and carried on. I got ready for the next serve, facing the recovering Selma and Vic. After brushing sand off, the two were immediately ready to resume, tunnel vision locked on Marcus. 19-19, service. A pair of footsteps sounded behind me as he made his approach. The ball flew over my head, coming in with more arc than I expected. Is he serving them short this late in the game? It's a pretty conservative move to make. As the ball crossed the net, the ball made a sharp drop, throwing off Selma, the intended target. She made contact with it, but sent it straight into the net, leaving Vic responsible to scoop it out. Damn! He swung his arms under the net, but could only send the ball a foot higher back to Selma. She responded with a really high free ball back over to the net. I go. You can have it, man. I don't want to go up against Vic again. I peeled off from passing duties and went to the net. Marcus gave me a perfect pass aimed right on top of me. You got the option. He's right, Vic isn't ready to block yet. I leaped up and took a swing. The ball hit the tape of the net and bounced. Please go over. Oh, thank goodness. The ball rolled over and landed on the right side of the court, vacant of any defenders. Nice spot. Dude, that shouldn't have gone over. I was so late on my swing. It worked, at least. True. Marcus picked the ball up. Need that pass any higher next time. Nah, that was my fault. Alright. We high-fived and Marcus went back to serve the match point. Although I was angry this time, Selma and Vic seemed even more zoned in on Marcus. They weren't going to let him do that to them again. I gave Marcus a set of signals. This? Yup. Okay. Match point serving 19. Service. The ambience took over. All four of us were silent as Marcus presumably started his serve. It's taking longer than usual to release his serve. The ball zipped over my head and down Selma's sideline. She leaned to cut it off, but it was too late as the ball landed in front of her and tagged the sideline. Did Marcus just jump serve? When did he learn how to do that? Nevertheless, I turned around to applaud him. Nice serve, Marcus. What was that? Well, a jump serve. You'd never done that before. When did you start trying? A few months ago. It was beautiful to look at. Oh, thanks. He rubbed the back of his neck, smiling. As we walked back towards our stuff, we were interrupted by a loud sigh. God, you guys are tough, but it was a good game. Thanks, same to you. While we were talking, Vic walked back to his cooler and slumped next to it. I think we're going to have to drink this game away. Vic placed his upper body on top of it, putting on a performance. Didn't you give the vodka bottle to Kenny? Vic broke character and started to think. Yeah, where is he? Kenny wasn't even in sight. The last time I saw him was at the beginning of the game. I didn't even bother to check after that. Vic? Yes? Are you trying to poison my teammates? What are you talking about? I'm sure most of your team could down that thing as pre-game. You're right about a lot of those guys, but I haven't seen Kenny do that. We paused and did a quick glance around for him. Ken, you doing okay? Yeah. A sequence of splattering noises followed it up. It was coming from a nearby bathroom. Kenny. Everyone walked towards the sound, which was still going. We stopped outside of the bathroom. Are you doing okay? Yeah. I feel awful. Bro, I'm so sorry for doing this to you. I didn't know you... Ow! Selma elbowed Vic in the stomach. Do you need us to help you out of there? No, just give me a minute. Does he even live around here? How's he going to get home? Do you need one of us to drive you back home? Kenny audibly spat again. Took him a few seconds, but he managed to regain his composure and speak again. It's fine. I can call my dad to get me. Did you drive here? No, I walked. My house is a 30-minute walk from here. Oh, if you want, I can stay here with you until he comes. No, it's fine. He just told me he's 5 minutes away. Don't let me hold you all back. All right then, I hope you feel better. Same, man. I won't peer pressure you next time. Oh, don't worry about it, Vic. The four of us walked back to the court to get our stuff. Marcus picked up Kenny's bag and ran into the bathroom. While we were getting our stuff, a couple of partygoers were already on the court setting up beer-dyed tables.
Remember that chick from sociology? The one with the ass?
If only they were talking about pet donkeys.
Yeah, that one. She's coming tonight. Says she's hella good at Rage Cage. You better be ready to send it tonight. Oh, you know it.
The second partygoer paused once he saw the volleyball next to his feet. Looking around, the first person he saw was me.
Hey, is this yours?
Yeah. And so the other 7 around you. The zebra took note of the remaining balls spread around the area.
Whoa. You're gonna have to move them, you know. Alpha Beta Delota's party starts in 30 minutes.
Sure, we'll do that now. I gestured towards my new acquaintances. The face of the first partygoer, human, lit up.
Vic, is that you? Hey, what's up?
The two bro-hugged and started to talk.
What are you doing here? I thought you were off dying from that lab report.
Not anymore, man. Selma and I finished it last night. I finished my part last night. Selma completed hers this afternoon.
Yeah, this dumbass here distracted me earlier. Why you gotta screw her over like that?
My attention on them dozed off as I saw 5 more balls still left out. Might as well get this over with. I picked up the remaining balls and put them back into Marcus's bag. He never told me why he has a set of balls in a mesh bag. This was the first time I'd seen him with them. And speaking of the devil, there he is walking back, taking in the changed scenery. Well, they're setting up already. Yeah, already? Yeah, it's... Marcus opened his backpack and checked his phone. Oh, 6:30. Wow, we went way longer than I expected. Thought he said they'd be here by 6. Guess they were feeling nice today. So, anyway, I put the balls away, all 8 of them. Oh, thanks. Marcus proceeded to count them to double check. All 8 were present. Vic and Selma still here. Their bags are, at least. Yeah, look behind you. We turned to see them still talking to the first partygoer and 2 more guys. Oh, yeah, they know some of those guys from the engineering department. Sometimes this place can be a small world. He looked down thinking about something. It didn't take him that long to figure whatever it was out. We were planning on going to Harvey's together afterwards, but now that Kenny's out of the equation, I'm not sure what we're doing. Oh, I didn't know we were having dinner together. Not like I had much planned myself. My dad told me it's leftover pizza in the fridge. Saveco? Yep. Well, I know you don't like that stuff, but when you're at uni, it saves you. Well, that's not the point. I'll ask Selma and see what they want to do. Okay. Marcus walked over to the newly formed group, chatting away. It'd be nice to get familiar with the restaurants around you too. I wonder what that Harvey's place is like. Change of plans. They're going to stay here for the party, and they invited us to stay if we wanted to. I don't have anything going on tomorrow myself. Not like I have a job or anything. I'm down if you are. Yeah, it would be nice, but my dad wants me to stay at home for an extra day. Says he's missed working out with his boys. My heart wasn't set on this, so it's not a problem. Ever since Marcus went off to college, it's just been his parents and his older brother living at home. Do you want to stop anywhere for dinner before we go back? He gave it some thought. Yeah, sure, we can take Harvey's to go. I want to get back at a reasonable hour. Okay, Harvey's it is then. Is it close to here? Marcus looked towards the end of the sand where the parking lot met. You see that building with the awning? Yeah? Well, that's the place. Oh, we're that close to it? Yeah, it's part of the campus town. A lot of people who come here go there during or afterwards. That's nice. I have at least one go-to restaurant. And it'll probably be one of your favourites. Really? It's that good? Oh, yeah. We should probably get going now. I'm going to put the balls away. He picked up the mesh bag, waved to Selma and headed to his truck. I might as well say goodbye too. It was nice meeting you guys. The group froze for a second but continued talking. Selma turned back and saw me. Nice meeting you too. She then turned back and resumed chatting. It would be nice to have an in to these parties. Lord knows I've heard the rumours about how hard it is to get into one here. Marcus and I threw our bags into the car, only bringing our phones and wallets. his keys, with us. Since the restaurant was a block inland, we didn't have to deal with much commotion from the beach. There's a neon green sign on top that read, Harvey's Burgers and Smoothies. By the time we arrived, it was 6:45 and the sun was starting to set, emphasizing the sign's brightness. There was a line of about a dozen people in front of us. He's right about it being the go-to place. What do you recommend here? I mean, what specifically? I had to assume their burgers and smoothies are their best things. Well, it's pretty open-ended here if you're talking about the burgers. You start with a patty and bun of choice and add on from there. He pointed to the menu, which showed a buffet style of ordering and pricing. But if you're curious, their fan favourite is a combo called the Swiss Bliss. It's a meat patty with Swiss cheese, caramelised onions, romaine lettuce, honey glazed bacon. All those things sound amazing. I am sold. Barbecue sauce and garlic aioli on a brioche bun. So close. Oh, sounds pretty good. I'd probably do that without the sauce and aioli. Call me crazy, but I hate sauces and condiments inside my burger, especially mustard. Why add messy ingredients to flavour the burger when you can infuse it with the initial ingredients? Like I said, call me crazy. Yeah, you can't always find the perfect burger, but sometimes you have to settle. Now that I'm on my own, I don't have to hinder myself doing that. Alright. I nodded as our conversation dropped for a bit. During that lull, the line moved up 8 spaces. What about the smoothies, Marcus? What about them? Is there a certain flavour this place is known for? Not really. All of them have positive reception. Off the top of my head, I'd recommend the peach mango smoothie. It's my favourite at least. That's always a good combo. Yeah, but I have friends who say the other flavours like berry sublime and strawberry banana are pretty good too. Okay. Remember the beach club team I brought up earlier? Yeah? Well, after every home tournament, we'd always come here afterwards. It's so refreshing after exercising all day. Oh, I look forward to doing that with you. Yeah. At least they don't cut anyone. What do you mean they don't cut anyone? Well, the beach club doesn't have set teams, so getting cut isn't a problem. Indoor, however, is kind of tricky. Does indoor cut people? Sadly, yes. It's pretty tough to make the indoor team in general. Last year, 60 guys tried out and only 30 made the 2 teams available due to player limits. Why couldn't they make more teams? I shrugged. I'm getting kind of nervous in my own career now. I stopped playing intercollegiate because I would have been cut here by their team. They would if there were more gyms on campus to hold them. Even with all the interest, you only have 1 gym and 2 days to practice. Plus all the other indoor clubs and activities take up the remaining time. I don't think you should worry. I know it's a gamble, but I think that you should make it. Well, thanks, Marcus. I know you believe me. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been beach partners in the first place. For me, I just get paranoid about being cut. I've never been cut before, and being on the bench during high school doesn't instill much confidence in me. Evan? Yeah? Whatever happens with the club stuff, it doesn't define your quality. You have amazing potential and stuff. I don't think we would have been so good together otherwise. Thanks, man. It's tough not to worry. Yeah. Next in line? Oh, we're up. Want to go first? Nah, you can. What difference does it make? Yeah, I guess. Can I have your Swiss Bliss without the sauces? Okay, $1,000 combo comes with fries and a drink. Sure. For the drink, can I get the berry sublime smoothie? Yep, that'll be $1 extra. Yeah, cool with that? Yeah. Anything else? That's all for my bill. Could I take it to go? Alright, that comes out to be $14.08. 14? How can you charge that much for a burger combo? Yes, that's the luxury tax for being on a college campus. Okay, here's my card. Thanks. The cashier swiped my card and punched a few buttons on his register. A receipt popped out, which he tore off and handed to me. Here you go, kid. Your number will be 54. Have a good one. Thanks. You too, Harvey. My mind pondered the name while Marcus made his order. It took him a minute. Once he finished, we walked out to the courtyard to wait for our orders. Is that the Harvey? Harvey? Oh, no, just a coincidence. The actual owner, Harvey, cooks in the back. I've never seen the legend myself. I gotcha. Threw me for a loop there. Yeah, that guy always cracks jokes about it. He says it pisses off the owner when he pretends to be him. I've heard a voice yell from the back once or twice when he's done it. Oh, yikes. I probably shouldn't have hired a jokester with the same name. Here's a mistake. We continued to talk about small things intermittently for the next few minutes, while our orders got called. We picked our bags up and headed back to Marcus's truck. We sat in the cargo bed and opened our meals. I scurried through my items and unwrapped my burger first. It smelled amazing, and when I opened it... Oh crap, they put the white sauce on my burger. You mean the aioli? Yeah. Are you going to ask them to change it? Not after that nightmare of a line. I'll deal with it. Okay. Begrudgingly, I took a bite out of the burger. This is amazing. I let the bite settle in my mouth. The aioli was the perfect finishing touch. I guess I'll have to make a sauce exception here. Well, what do you think? I think he helped me find the perfect burger. That amazing? Well, it's up there with my favourites. I continued to chomp down on the burger, remaining satisfied throughout. The fries and smoothie didn't let me down either. Who knew a berry and lime shake would taste this good? We took the next few minutes to finish our meals, hardly talking through the process. Once we finished, we threw out our trash, got in the car and left. "30 minutes later, the lamppost lined up on the sides illuminated the highway. We were 30 minutes away from my house, and all I could do was stare out the window. Conversation died out between me and Marcus long ago. At this point we were far enough inland that the beach was long behind us. All that was left now were the tall office buildings adjacent to the road. We were basically on a straight shot home. Then something caught my eye from Marcus's rearview mirror. Blue and red flashing lights blinked behind us. Was Marcus speeding? He wouldn't be caught dead doing that. The lights were growing, coming closer and closer to us. My body tensed up. I need to tell him. "Marcus, you know there's a cop behind us." "Yeah?" "You're not breaking any speed limits, are you?" He checked his speedometer. "No, I'm still going 65. "No broken lights or anything?" "Nope, all of them were working when we pulled out." The cop car was now behind us. I really don't want this to be how I end my night. Could be someone else. As soon as he said that, the car in front of us changed lanes, moving into the fast lane and accelerating. The cop car followed suit. As he sped up, he sounded off his siren and lit his spotlights at the escaping car. Phew, what a relief. Okay, that scared me. I don't know how you stay so calm around cop cars. Police vehicles? Yeah, those. Same thing. You know my dad's a police officer, right? Yeah, and so's your brother, I know. Marcus hemmed, frown visible from his right side. When you're around officers for a majority of your life, it kind of numbs you to their presence. Oh, I never thought of it like that. Like, I knew you grew up around officers, but I never thought it took away the fear of seeing one near you. Yeah, it becomes pretty normal when you're so exposed. He trailed off as he finished. There was a minute-long pause as we fumbled around to restart conversation. Well, at least they're still doing all right. Dad and Trevor made 5 arrests this week. 5? In 1 week? My eyes bulged when he said that. Yeah, it's been a busy week for them considering today's Labour Day. They keep telling me about how the West Side is bringing more crime to town. More crime? Marcus winced slightly. He took some time to respond. Yeah, Dad says it keeps happening towards the west side of the county. The part close to the city. Oak Hills is a pretty tame place relative to the city, but since the West End borders Helvetica, a city with about 300,000 people, it tends to bring in some runarounds from the city. Birdie's been saying that for the past 3 years. I don't really see anything when I'm back home. Maybe it's the city life making me jaded. He put on his best impression of his dad while saying city life. We both laughed at the attempt. Well, I'm sure if they worked in San Vicente, though, they would have a field day. Well, there are a lot more people capped here in the city. Guess that makes sense. Yeah, in San Vicente you can hear sirens and see emergency vehicles go by all the time. Then again, police headquarters are adjacent to campus and there's a fire station 2 blocks away. Sounds like you guys have a lot of protection. Yeah, seems like it. The rest of the ride home was pretty quiet again. A comment being made here and there, but nothing really substantial. After taking 90 minutes to drive from San Vicente, we finally arrived at my house. The clock on Marcus's dash read 9:02. Marcus pulled up the curb in front of my house and stopped the car. It was fun hanging out today. I can't wait to move in with you in 2 weeks. Yeah, it'll be nice getting new roommates. My current ones and I are pretty much done with each other. I'm sure an entire school year would do that to you. A regular school year was already enough chaos. Once we realised we were all extending our stay of the summer, that was the final straw. Did you know them really before moving in? Not really. They were two seniors, or also a couple. Emphasis on were. Oh boy. The worst part was, since it was a 2-bedroom apartment, I got kicked out of my room and had to sleep on the couch for half a year. So it was mostly you who was done with this BS. Yeah, I couldn't say it to their faces, but they treated me like crap because I was younger than them. You won't understand this. They said that every time I tried to use the oven, even after I stopped one of them from setting the oven on fire. Oh dear Lord, how can you stay in that apartment? It must be like seeing war flashbacks anytime you see something in the house. Well, actually, the apartment itself is really nice. Older, albeit in good shape. Perfect fit for 2 people. I kind of realised I was brought in as the third just to make rent cheaper. How much is per person when there's only 2 people? Well, $9.80 a month. With utilities, it's about $10.50, but it's quite a steal for living in San Vicente. Most places are ridiculously expensive. You either have to pay $2,000 for a studio or live with 5 people. Isn't it a blessing you know me? Well, that we don't hate each other, yes. Haha, oh you. I gave him a cheesy glance back as if I were in a sitcom. Hey, I should probably leave now. I don't want my dad thinking I joined the other side. Yeah, you should probably do that. If you asked who did it, blame me. Gotcha. He snapped his fingers and pointed to me. See you soon. See ya. I grabbed my stuff and got out of the car. I shut the door and walked to the front door of my house. While doing so, Marcus started his car up and left. I really hope he's disliked when I live with him. I opened the door with my house key and went in. Since everyone was out of the house for a friend's Labour Day dinner, I went straight to my room and got ready for bed. 10 minutes later, I was out cold. To be continued. That was Build 1 of Ocean Avenue. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Nice self-portrait there, Dirk. As Dirk the Red Panda responsible for all the coding, art and writing in this. And of course he has his own channel as well. So if you do play this, please fill out the feedback survey. Speaking of some just creative stuff myself, I know what it's like getting feedback, good, bad, whatever. Just knowing that people are paying attention, and if there's something wrong, they'll let you know. If they love it, that's good to know as well. Keeps you going with these things. And yeah, there's a Patreon account you can support for Dirk's work on this. And of course, there's the itch page. You can find out all the details, download it as well. If you're on Twitter, follow Ocean Avenue. And there'll be a link to Dirk's channel in the description. If you look on my channel description, he's a recommended channel, but I will put all these links in the description for you guys. So I say thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. The next time the public update comes out, we'll be playing it. Next video is going to be After Years, as Tearving uploaded a public version just a few hours ago as I record this. So whenever that video is, might be a few days, might be a week, I don't know, we'll be playing After Years next. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.